Howdy folks, I'm Brian.
I'm Amber.
Happy Wednesday, and here's some Reddit. So we've got a couple of stories. These were both deleted, but I recovered them. And these ones we speculate are the origins of the cats slash Harry Potter themed wedding. So hang tight, there's two of them. Am I the jerk for making our guests participate in a puppet themed wedding? My fiance, a 26-year-old female, and I, a 27-year-old male, met at college. We were in our school's performing art program and we met in a puppetry class. In the class, we designed our own puppets. Mine was named Hat Boy and my fiance's Daisy. She's better with names. Were what we initially used to talk to each other and flirt in class. We fell in love, and in a way, we've considered Hat Boy and Daisy in love as well. After years of graduating, we still use Hat Boy and Daisy both at home and at our local but fairly prominent theater, where we perform puppet shows with high-end Muppet-style puppets. While planning our wedding, we realized that we wanted Hat Boy and Daisy to be part of the ceremony. They've been part of us since the beginning, and it just felt right. We've also invited our entire troupe of puppeteers and theater and got the idea that we should have our entire wedding company officiated by puppets. And that our wedding parties would be made up of puppets and our closest puppeteer friends. We figured it'll make for an incredible pictures. Here's where we aren't sure if we're the jerks or not. We're insisting that all of our guests also participate and use puppets in lieu of gifts. We've asked everyone to purchase high quality but not nearly the quality of professional puppets to use during the wedding. We took the guesswork out of it and directed them to several vendors, some of who offer some really cool options. Everyone could realistically expect to spend $150 to $500 depending on what sort of details and whatnot they wanted. We also wanted everyone to wear their puppets during the entire wedding reception. All of the puppets that we're suggesting can be mounted on and controlled with one hand. The puppets are meant to be guests at the wedding in the same way that all of our humans are guests as well. Well, let's just say there are a lot of people who aren't happy about this. Both of our parents, my wife's sister, and my family members on both sides have complained that this is completely unreasonable. They are concerned about how they're going to eat and drink. How else would you eat and drink? With the puppets on, of course. How are they going to dance? You don't need hands to dance, so I don't know where this complaint came from. And we of course don't expect people to have their puppet on their hand while in the bathroom, but everyone where else, we'd really insist on it. We also made sure that our hors d'oeuvres are all finger foods. There will be plenty of cocktail tables so people can put down their drinks. We've even made sure that all of the food for the dinner itself is portioned so that it can be eaten in bite size with just a fork without having to use a knife. We really think this would make for a special day. We only get to do it once and think that it will be an event that all of our guests will remember for a lifetime. We've had a hard time believing that once there, they wouldn't have a blast. So Reddit, are we the jerk for making what we think is a silly but harmless and reasonable request for our one special day? Thanks for reading. Alright folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Jerk for forcing people to buy expensive puppets and have them the entire time.
Having your wedding with your puppets would have actually been really great and sweet. Where I draw the line is that you would expect everyone to have these puppets on the entire time and you want them to buy expensive puppets. I think there's a reasonable solution to this. Have everyone make their own puppets or give everyone sock puppets. Have like an activity table where people can choose to make puppets at your wedding, and then that way they can all have fun and enjoy it, or just have party favors, or have like a basket of puppet making stuff in the middle of each table. That way people can, while they're waiting for pictures and stuff like that, they can take time to make puppets. Otherwise, you're just forcing people to buy a $150 to $500 puppet that they're never going to use and probably throw out, which is pretty wasteful, right? Or sell. People are going to be more inclined, I think, to hold on to a sock puppet than an expensive puppet. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Not Having Catering at My Wedding? And this is probably the origin story, so maybe this one should have gone first, but I like the puppet one a little better. I'm a 28-year-old female, and my fiance, a 30-year-old male, just got married 2 months ago, and we had our dream wedding. Everything was perfect, and I mean everything. My parents and his parents helped us pay for a great chunk of the wedding so that we could be debt-free, and we are eternally grateful for that. The issue arose about a month and a half ago when my aunt started posting on Facebook about how disappointed she was with the whole ordeal, and a few guests sided with her. Background: my fiance and I are huge Disney fans, and we travel to Disney World as much as we can throughout the year. Disney is such an important part not only to us, but also to our marriage. The issue was with our decision to not offer catering services / bar services at our wedding due to the routing of the money towards having a wedding with Minnie and Mickey so that they could make an appearance at our special day. The cost to have both Minnie and Mickey for a good chunk of time, 30 minutes, was almost exactly what our parents allotted for our catering budget. So we scheduled an appearance during our first dance and our wedding photos, foregoing food service, though there were plenty of facilities at the venue where people could eat. My parents were still very supportive of us, but everyone else is being passive-aggressive and are talking about it on Facebook. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
A little bit of the jerk. Like, you should have at least notified people in advance that there wouldn't be food, or even, like, done a potluck or basic catering.
If you had let people know ahead of time that there wasn't going to be food, then this would have been okay. And I think you also should have consulted your parents about spending money on the Minnie and Mickey as opposed to on the catering. That's something, because they are paying for it, that they might have had some kind of want to have some say in it. Anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright, so this next set of stories I have not read or reviewed or anything like that, so let's just burn right through them and then we'll edit out the bad ones later. Am I the jerk for going to a different hotel during my vacation with my husband? It's our first real vacation since 2020, and my first with just my husband in over 10 years. Our daughter, Annie, 17, was left home alone. For some reason, recently Annie can do no right in my husband's eyes. Dress, music, chores, he's deemed her irresponsible. It's the farthest from the truth. She has a summer job and makes good grades. She's, in fact, kind of a hermit for her age. Unknown to me, my husband set the hot water heater to refill only once a day while we are gone. Annie did some dishes and some laundry and took a shower, and the water was cold. She was upset and thought it was broken and called us panicking. My husband yelled at her for wasting our hot water and telling her how irresponsible she was, enough to make her cry. I got madder than ever I have in this relationship, and I basically said that most parents would love to have a 17-year-old like Annie. We argued and screamed all night, so the next day I left the resort and went to a little hotel down the street. My husband has been trying to call me, and I told Annie to block her father and don't pay any attention to him. My husband is mad about the wasted money on this vacation, but I can't stand to even look at him over an argument, something so stupid and preventable. All right, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk?
Why would... this is a really bizarre situation, and I think you had every right to leave your husband for him doing something like this. Like, he's yelling at your child for using too much hot water. Like, she's a child still, I mean, she's 17 years old, and most people, like, she was doing dishes. Like, she wasted water on dishes. Maybe she could have used less water on the dishes. Maybe she could have used less hot water on the shower. But, I mean, she didn't even have a chance to use it on the shower. So I don't even know what he's complaining about here. It's not like she was running. He must not have filled it up that much. That's all I can figure here. So no, you're not a jerk. Your husband needs to grow up. Our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for not correcting my kids who told my ex's wife that she's not their mother? I have 2 sons aged 10 and 12 with my ex. We broke up over a number of issues, one of which was Emily, a woman he had worked with for years. The two of them grew very close, and she was always telling me how my ex deserved better than me, that I was trying to steal his family away from him. A few times she even pretended to be his wife during work functions, and my ex would laugh them off, as well as that he was really bad with money and other stuff. After we separated, he made things official with Emily, and that came as no surprise to me. Big surprise, everyone! Emily was even more openly hostile when she realized my ex's family still liked me and would still include me. Not to mention, when she realized that my boys weren't super happy she was with their dad's new girlfriend, Emily actually called my ex-mom a C-word for saying that I was the best mom when they were still all having a family dinner. Wow, sounds like a real winner here.
Mm-hmm.
My ex got a firm warning from the judge about using Emily to do the exchanges of our boys and to deal with the custody issues. This was after her confronting me a number of times during exchanges in front of my children, and of her showing not just hostility, but saying things that could have been taken as alienation of a parent. He continued to allow this, and the ex was fined for breaching the judge's orders. He was told that if it happens again, custody would be modified. Recently, there has been an increase in anger towards me. Emily is unable to have children, and she wanted the boys to consider her a mom. They asked me for help, and I said nope. That Emily was not their mother of my children, and I wasn't going to encourage them to consider her one after the years of verbal abuse from her. The boys had an award night back at the start of June, and while there, Emily told the boys to get in the photos with her for the school newsletter. They said no. She told them that she wasn't asking. They said that she wasn't their mother, so she couldn't say that. My ex scolded the boys, but I said nothing. Ex and Emily said I should have backed them up and not allowed the disrespect. I told them that I did not find what they said disrespectful. They have claimed that I'm a bad parent and I should not have let my kids get away with that. And I'm teaching them to disrespect women, etc. So now I'm here to find out if I'm the jerk. All right, folks, what do you think, jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk.
Opie, no, you're not the jerk. She's acting terrible to you, and it sounds like she's acting terrible to your boys, so why would your boys consider her their mother? So no, not the jerk. This is bad behavior on her part, and she just is really forcing it. Our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for leaving the restaurant after my boyfriend refused to pay for my meal? I had lent my boyfriend some money a few weeks ago because of something that he needed, and he promised to pay me back ASAP. He was supposed to pay me back 5 days ago, but something came up and he didn't. I tried to be patient. Well, yesterday we had planned to go out with some friends at dinner for the night. Yesterday I came back from work and I was robbed in the bus, and I had all of my money and cards stolen. I canceled my cards, but the bank customer service told me that my new card with the new details, both physical card and digital details for Apple Pay, would be available the following morning because the banks were closed that afternoon. So I had no money. Well, when we went to dinner with my boyfriend and friends, I told my boyfriend that he could just pay me back the money, or at least pay for my meal, since I have no money. He didn't exactly say yes or no, just simply don't worry. As we ordered, he only ordered for himself and told me that he can't cover mine at the moment, so I better not order anything and just have some bites from his meal. Wow. Wow, this did not go the way I thought it was going to go. I was so mad and frustrated because he had promised to give me back the money. He then claimed something came up and he couldn't give them back, but he ordered a nice meal for himself and just told me to get his scraps because he wouldn't pay me back, or at least for my meal. I'd been only the one sitting there with no meal in front of me. I said this is ridiculous, and I just got up and left. Our friends now believe it was very low of me to get up and leave. How I should just be polite and stay there. I can't quite understand that logic, but there is any way that I'm the jerk. What? What? Okay.
Get new friends.
Get new friends and a new boyfriend. Like, why are you hanging out with these people? Like, if I had heard that you were robbed, like, maybe your boyfriend couldn't cover it, but I would have been like, oh, yeah, we'll get you. Yeah, that's no problem. No problem at all. Like, I wouldn't even care if you paid us back because you're supposed to be enjoying a meal with your friends, not sitting hungry while everyone eats in front of you. No, that's completely unacceptable. Ridiculous. New friends ASAP, OP. New friends. Our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Helping My Sister Elope and Giving Her My Grandmother's Special Ring? This situation's a bit of a mess, so please bear with me. Some background to help understand the family dynamic. I'm a 22-year-old. Parents aren't understanding people. Dad is 57 and significantly worse. He thinks his way is correct and we always need to learn from him. He's very, very close to his siblings, especially my uncle Peter, 60, and always likes to take their opinions. I have a sister Laura, 28, and she's amazing, but she's kind of soft and gets emotional pretty easily. Growing up, my parents were manipulative and borderline emotionally abusive towards her, and I think she also tried to shelter me in a way. So my experiences growing up were quite different from hers. I thought she was just being a drama queen, and I didn't realize until I got older. I'd say my mom changed and tries to be supportive now, but my dad is still good old dad. Me and Laura are close, but she's not as close as to our parents, especially dad, because she still talks to them. My Gram's dad gave me a ring as a gift for my 18th, which Granddad had gifted her a long time back. It's not worth a lot, but it's definitely a special piece. Okay, now to the issue at hand. A couple years back, Laura went on a date or two with a guy, Harry, 30 I think, but nothing came of it. Fast forward to now, it turns out this guy, Harry, is from a very upper class family, and Uncle Peter is friends with his dad. I guess at one point Harry mentioned to him that he went on a date with Laura and Peter and his wife. Pretty much lost their mind, trying to get them back together and other stuff. Laura's been with Jack, 34, for over a year now, and they're serious. Dad, of course, sat down Laura to convince her that Harry is the one. Also, as a side note, it's not like Jack is unemployed or something. He's an attorney and has a good background. I know there was a massive argument between all of them after Laura found out Dad had literally gone to Jack and told him to leave her. Jack brought up the idea of eloping, and I encouraged it, and Laura agreed. Me and a few others from Jack's side helped them set everything up and got a marriage license. I gave Laura Graham's ring as a happy elopement gift. I did tell Mom vague details about what was going on, but Dad and Peter and Co. found out a few days ago. It's been a real time since then. Apparently Uncle Peter's embarrassment and doesn't have the face to front Harry and his family. Dad's upset at me for helping them, but more so because I gave Graham's special ring for something like this. He said one of us could have at least told them beforehand and not created the situation now. I won't even get started on what was going on with the extended family. Was I the jerk for helping them elope and also giving them Graham's ring? Some people are saying that I shouldn't have brought myself into Laura's drama, and my aunt actually said that giving the ring away was the same as stealing it. Imagine that. You can steal your own property. Alright, folks, what do you think, jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk.
Yeah, I don't think that you're the jerk, OP. It sounds like a really peculiar situation, and your sister should be able to marry who she wants to marry and not being forced into a weird arranged marriage. Anyhow, take care and good luck. Am I the jerk for not forgiving my uncle for his joke when I was a child? Most of my family seems to disagree with me on this one, so I wanted an unbiased opinion. When I was somewhere between 4 to 6 years old, I don't remember my exact age, my uncle came on a vacation with us. Him, my parents, and I were walking down the boardwalk next to a fast-moving river when he grabs me by the arm and dangles me over the railing. What is wrong with this man? Laughing his butt off. I was literally screaming hysterically and crying and begging for him to stop, and he just continues laughing and shaking me until he finally pulls me back over and then drops me on the ground.
Where weren't your parents?
Where are your parents? Yeah. I was a mess. I was bawling. I was terrified, and he just laughed and said it was a joke. This event honestly led to me hating him as a person. I was so scared I was going to die by drowning, and he never apologized. Just kept saying it was a joke and that I should get over it. He never would have really dropped me, so I was pretty much never trusting him again. Now that I'm adult, mid-20s, I honestly look down on him for this event even more since I can't imagine doing that to a child or anyone. It seems so mean-spirited and cruel. I pretty much admitted to my family last Christmas that I don't care about him as a person and would rather never see him again if I had the option. When they asked why, I told them the reason, and they seemed surprised and just kind of said, well, he's family. I really don't feel that way. He's never done anything like that to me again, but I just don't like him. And we have nothing in common. So am I the jerk for not wanting to hang out with him / send him Christmas cards, etc.? No. What do you folks think?
Not the jerk.
Not the jerk. This is absurd. I don't know how your family hasn't, cut him off at this point. What happens if he had slipped? He's lucky he didn't slip.
Well, and it just in your mind, it's such a scary experience. I like how it's always the people who aren't being traumatized who are like, oh, it wasn't that big a deal. He's family.
Yeah.
You try getting dangled over a boardwalk by your arm, and then we'll talk.
Yeah, exactly. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I have some tea. Amber has some water, and she drank all of her tea. She didn't save any of it for tea time. To be fair, we've been reading for an hour now, so that's part of the reason why Amber drinks all of her tea by the time we get done is because, I'm recording here and, cutting out all these stories, and by the time we get done, it's like an hour in, so tea time. Maybe I need to have a tea time at the beginning. I don't know that I did this one yet. What is sold by the yard but worn by the foot? A carpet. That's pretty good. And I have Earl Grey. Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving me a like. And if you didn't, consider giving me a dislike. Also, don't forget that we are doing a live stream this Friday on the 29th. So, we'll see you there. Anyhow, take care and I'll see you all tomorrow.